Hello everyone, James Baker here, and I have a great video today. A young woman from Mexico, her name is Danna, is working in Texas, and she is curious about how she can get paid refereeing soccer games and what form she needs to give the person who's paying her so that they can actually hire her and start paying her. So let's get to the call and let's figure out how we can help.
Had done my taxes, I'm too turned up. Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good.
Doing good. I'm doing good. Thanks for showing up for the call. So I'm really excited to speak and hear about your story a little bit. So where are you calling me from today?
No, I'm from Austin. Not from Austin, but I'm in Austin.
Like Texas?
Yes.
Oh, okay. In the snow? You have power and everything?
I lost power last week and I don't have water, but we are figuring out things.
Okay, cool. Thanks for scheduling the call again. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your situation? What's going on?
Yes. It's because I'm from Mexico and I'm here in Texas living with my family, some friends of the family since September, I think, and I play soccer. So I was trying to work in the US like soccer for refereeing thing, and they were asking me to have a social security number, but I didn't know what was that. So I was asking, and the person that is in charge of the questions and all of that, he was telling me that I should get a teen or something like
What's your legal status?
that. I'm here for just tourist.
Okay, so you're Mexican and you're just visiting family, like extended stay, visiting a family?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my first piece of advice is don't overstay your visa. I know it's pretty easy with Mexico to go back and forth, but don't overstay the visa because that messes you up in the future for any kind of
Yeah,
status change. So that's
yeah,
super
that
important.
that was my mom was telling me that like to be really careful because when they told me like to apply, well, to do the course of the reference thing. Either way, I didn't know what was that until now.
Well, they probably don't ever have this issue of having non-residents being referees, but you don't really need an ITIN for this. You need to give them a W-8BEN, and because they want you to fill out a W-9 and report a 1099. But since you're a non-U.S. person, you would give them a W-8BEN. And I don't think you need an ITIN to do it. I don't think you need a tax ID because the reason they're asking for the tax ID is so they can give you a 1099. So this is a 1099 is basically a form that they tell the IRS how much they paid you during the year. But there's two forms they would want. They would want the W-9 form or the W-8BEN. The W-9 is for U.S. residents and people that live in the U.S. and the W-8 is for foreigners like non-U.S. residents. And what they should do is withhold taxes from your pay and give you a 1042S at the end of the year. The thing is that if it's just a small rec soccer league, they're probably not equipped to handle that level of tax compliance because it's tricky and it's non-standard, and they probably don't get it that much, so they don't know. They're not going to know what to do.
Okay.
So you have to talk to them more. You can get an ITIN if you want. It takes 1 to 3 months, and that's fine. Technically, they should be withholding taxes on the money you earn working as a referee, and you should give them a W-8.
BEN?
If you want, I can do a screen share and show you a little bit about it.
Yes, please. I told them that I was like, I just wanted to, well, I was here because I'm going back, I think in July or something because of the school. In Mexico, everything is online, so that's why I'm here playing soccer. And
Nice.
they told me that they were aware for my situation and that they know some people that, because I was telling them like maybe I can do it because I'm not an US resident, and they were like, no, we know some people that were like in your status and they completed their process and now they're working. And I was like, oh, okay. So I was just looking at YouTube.
Yeah, it's a tricky situation, but the W-8BEN is a certificate of foreign status. So you're just telling them that, and it's for United States withholding and reporting. So you're telling them that you're a foreign person. And even if you got an ITIN, you probably shouldn't complete a W-9 because you're not a U.S. resident.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the form you need to complete. And it's actually very simple.
Mm-hmm.
I have a bunch of videos on this actually as well. So I think that would be very helpful. But the name of individual, that's yourself, country of citizenship, address, Mexican tax ID, date of birth. I don't think you get, maybe you can claim a treaty, U.S. Mexico tax treaty. But I think if you earn I think you're subject to a 30% withholding because you're just earning the money here. I don't think there's any business profits. Yeah. Branch tax road, personal services. Yeah, it just says you have to pay where you have to pay tax. There's no withholding. So they probably would withhold 30% of whatever you're getting paid. And then you can file a U.S. tax return and get a refund for the difference between your real tax rate and the 30% that they withhold. That's how it's supposed to happen.
Okay.
So the form, like I said, is a really simple form. This is literally one page. It's all your basic information, your Mexican tax ID. And if you fill this out and give it to them and you say, hey, here's my tax form and in my Mexican tax ID, I don't have a social, then maybe it'll work and maybe they'll let you start. But that's technically what I believe you should be required to do for them.
Okay. One question. Where do I, because I was reading and I have to send the information by mail. It can be like
What information?
online. Like this paper, where do I send it?
You give it to the people who are going to pay you.
Oh, okay.
So this is just given to the people who are going to pay you so that they know your tax status.
Okay.
So it's really easy. I told you, just Google search W-8BEN, print it out, complete it, and hand it to them. And maybe they say, or email it to them, and they'll say, okay, I guess this will work. Or they'll say, no, we can't do it because they just aren't equipped with the tax to do the withholding because you have to register with the IRS. You have to remit the withholdings. You have to track it a certain way. It's like annoying for them to do it this way. To do it correctly, it's going to be annoying because it sounds like it's like a small rec league and they just don't have the resources to be equipped to do this kind of extra stuff. But maybe they'll just pay you with checks, which is hopefully what they end up doing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna look for that one and I'm gonna send it to them and I hope it works.
Because otherwise you're only out, if you need an ITIN, it's going to take you a month and a half anyways.
Yes, that was.
You're going to miss half the season or whatever because that's probably, even though I don't know who's playing soccer in the snow right now. Is
well,
it indoor?
now we don't have snow. It's all sunny again. It just lasts 1 week.
Okay, cool. Do you have other questions?
No, I'm just gonna look for this form and I'm gonna send it to them. I just have to fill it right and sign. I don't need other papers like my passport or other things like that, right? Or
You need your Mexican tax ID. That's what you need to show them because it's going to be like your foreign tax ID. They don't think you need to have a passport on here.
okay.
Name of signer and then sign it yourself.
Okay. I'm gonna ask my dad what's my Mexican ID because I just turned 18 this year and I make all the paperwork in Mexico and then I come back. So.
Well, yeah, you definitely have a tax ID. He can give it to you. That's all you need for this form. It's not very hard. It's not very much to it. I just hope that the organization who's planning to pay you is prepared to deal with it. Or I hope they just pay you regular because it doesn't sound like it's that big of a, you're refereeing soccer games. They pay $100 a game or something, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to ref basketball games and it was like a lot. I think it's a lot more pressure than reffing soccer games because there's a lot in soccer. Yeah, you have to blow the whistle, call fouls, out of bounds, offsides, but like basketball's nonstop and everything. So there's a lot more fouls.
Yes, I know. I haven't played basketball, but I always watched like the games and yeah.
Reffing, it's just refereeing in basketball. It impacts the game. I don't know if it's more, but I think it sounds like more, feels like more pressure. And as it was like, I didn't like it very much. Just parents yelling at me because I was 18 when I was doing it too.
Okay.
But anyways, I hope it works out and you get to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for it today and I'm gonna fill it and I'm gonna send it to them like, hey, this is what I found out. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. Thanks so much for the call and best of luck, Dan. And thanks
Thank
for
you.
subscribing and to the channel and liking all the videos. That's really awesome.
Yeah, you were like really helpful. I was like, I didn't know like a lot of stuff, and I was like, oh, this guy explains it all very well.
I have a Spanish channel too, Empresa en America. It's a different channel. So if you want to watch the videos in Spanish, watch my
Yeah.
gringo Spanish, you can enjoy that too.
Okay. So you talk
Okay.
Spanish?
Yeah. I
I
have a whole
did.
channel with hundreds of videos in Spanish.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Is Dana?
Dana Leal.
Dana, nice to meet you. Un placer.
Gente.
Okay, ciao.
Bye.
So today, I think that call went really well. Really quick question, but it's a real practical question. She's in the U.S., so she's subject to 30% withholding if she's working in the U.S. I don't think there's any treaties apply. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know I got a guy on there, Vlad, who's put me through the ringer recently on some other videos in the comment sections. But if you're doing work in the U.S., physically in the U.S., I think they got that 30% withholding. It's just practically speaking, probably won't happen. We're talking about a small organization. It's probably not even a real organization. It's just a group of people who are putting it together and they wanted to do 1099s. Maybe they have a small company or something. But in my best guess is that they won't do it. They'll just pay her with checks and they won't do any withholding because it's something that's like really annoying to do, to register, to do it right. And it'll just cause more problems. It's not even worth it to pay someone like $300 and then withhold $30 or whatever 30% of $300. The rest is just not worth it. So if you're doing work in the U.S. and you like coming here to do referee soccer games in Texas, that's definitely work. That's U.S. source income, U.S. trade or business, certainly. And the person paying you should be, if they're paying you personally, should be withholding taxes. Okay? So that's the W-8BEN. That's some little insight into that kind of business. And it's good to get that on the channel because I know a lot of people are asking questions about what is a U.S. trade or business. And that is a great example. If you come to the U.S. and do your service here, you pay taxes in the U.S. And the U.S. has mechanisms set up. The IRS has it set up so that if this happens, the person paying you is responsible to withhold those taxes to ensure that you pay the taxes. Because if that doesn't happen in the first step, it's very costly and hard for the IRS to ever enforce these rules and get these taxes from you because you live and you work and everything in another country. So that's pretty much it. Thanks to Dana for scheduling the call. Don't forget to the video, subscribe, and check out the Spanish channel if you want to watch some Spanish videos. They're really good. And I'm going to keep putting up more videos, try and make them more fun for you guys. Appreciate you being here, and I will see you on the next one.